Welcome back, guys. As I said before, we're now moving into the more complex shapes in Inventor drawing. So drawing number 11 today, we're going to need to do a couple of different techniques with it. The way I prefer to do this technique is I prefer to draw the L shape first and then cut out the little notch. But if you prefer to draw the whole block 50 by 30 by 20 and then cut out the middle bit and then cut out the notch, you're more than happy to go about doing it that way. You don't have to follow my ways of doing it. I'm just showing you this as one way of doing it. Mr. Cole, Mr. Laxton and I all do it very different ways. This is my way of doing it. So here we go. Going back up to the top to New, Metric, Standard Millimeters, Create. Going back up to the top left hand corner again for Start Sketch. Coming over and selecting the XY plane. So this I'm going to draw the L shape, and I'm going to deliberately make sure my L doesn't look anything exactly like my final drawing. That way, as I put my dimensions to it, it's going to change and I'm going to see the physical changes. So here we go. Select the line tool, that's up in the top left hand corner next to where I hit the sketch button. Come down to the origin, remember it goes green, click, draw an L shape, and as I say, it's deliberately not going to look anything exactly like my finished product. As we come over the center here, you'll see it goes to, clicks to it, and then back to our origin, which is a green dot. So there we have an L shape. So I've got my basic shape there. Now I'm going to use the dimension tool to make it the accurate sizes to it. So dimension, I know size from this size to this end is my long end. It's going to be on my drawing, it says 50 millimeters, so I'm going to type in 50, enter. Now remember, I can't see my drawing anymore, so I'm going to go back up to my drawing box up here, select front and click on front once. That's a left click, and that will center my drawing so I can see it again. I also know from my drawing the size of this leg here, which happens to be 30 millimeters. So I'm going to go left click, left click, left click, 30, enter. So now I've got to find out what size I've got in here. So looking at my drawing, I can see that the gap, it tells me this distance here. So that's fine. I can go left click, left click, left click, size is 10, add that in. It tells me the size from this edge to this edge. So left click, and left click again. 10, enter. So now I can look at my profile and go, yes, it looks fairly similar to the profile I have in here. So I'm making sure my L profile looks fairly similar. Now I'm going to finish that sketch. I'm going to extrude it by 20 millimeters because we know all our blocks are 50 by 30 by 20. I can't see my block anymore, so I'm going to go back to my drawing cube, click on the corner. Now I can see it. Alright, I can see that on the drawing that I've got to put the notch on this edge here. So I could rotate it and then draw it from the other face, but I also can say, well, I know that it's got to go from this corner here, so that let's orientate it so it's the same as on our board. So right click up there. So now it's orientated, not quite. Okay, get that around there. Around and around. So now I have my block in the same orientation as my drawing. As the drawings get more complex, having your drawing on your page the same orientation as on your drawing here, that will help. So I know now I've got to remove this section out of here. I've got to put a rectangle in here. No dramas, we've done that before. We go up to the left corner and go start sketch, select the face. This is the face I want to draw it on. Click on it. Now this is where I find the project geometry to be really handy. So I'm going to go back up to the center, find my project geometry button, come down. This is the face I want to draw on. So that's the only one I'm interested in. So I don't have to project the geometry on all the parts, just on the part I want. So I can see my yellow border shows me what part I'm on. And if I go back to there, I can see, yes, I'm on that part. I'm definitely drawing on the right part of my drawing. I'm going to select the rectangle tool. I'm going to find the corner. Remember, it'll go green. And I'm going to drag it. And if the drawing tells me the sizes of it, and it doesn't, that's okay, because I'm going to go okay. I'm going to use my dimension tool now to go from this edge to this edge, because it tells me on my drawing that it has to be 20 millimeters. Enter. And on my drawing it tells me the height from here to here. So height from this edge to this edge has to be 10. Enter. Locked in. Finish sketch. So now I've got my rectangle in the right spot. What am I going to do? I'm going to go to my extrude tool. I'm going to use the cut function, the second function. So extrude tool's up next to where we did our sketched tool. We want to cut. We're going all the way through, so we go all. And now I find the shape. So you can see as I go over the shape, see how it changes color? Click on it. It gives me an indication of what I want to happen. I'm checking that against my drawing. Yep, that looks good. So I go okay. Checking it against my drawing, it looks the same. So I'm going to go File, Save As, Drawing 11. Save. Somebody kindly pointed out that in my last tutorial I forgot to say saving save as at the end of my drawing 10, but I did do that at the end, so I do have drawing 10, and you can see that down the bottom here. Drawing number 10 is down there. And that's another thing, as you do your drawings, they should pop up along the bottom ribbon along the bottom here, so you can see where you're up to, and if you scroll over them you'll get a thumbnail of what they are to know which ones you've done. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, cheerio.